Our first program just for children and for the young at heart, including animated stories, coming up next. Hello and welcome to today's program, coming to you from a very cold day in New York City. In this city there are hundreds and thousands of children. In fact, there are some 2 million people who are under age 18 in New York City. And you know, children had a special place in the heart of Jesus. He said, "Don't stop them from coming to me, because of such are the kingdom of heaven." And today's program is going to be focused on kids, on children who are special to the heart of God. First up, we're going to look at a special animation of a kid's story from Fiji.
Fiji lies in the center of the South Pacific Islands. The capital city, Suva, is home to several international institutions, including a university, a medical school, and a technical school. These schools attract the brightest students from throughout the South Pacific. About 500 Adventist students are enrolled at these schools, but until recently, there was no Adventist church nearby, no place where these young people could come to worship and bring their friends to fellowship or study in a welcoming atmosphere. For a while, the group rented a hall at the university, but the university needed all of its larger halls on Sabbath morning, leaving the Adventist students with no place to worship. Thanks to the 2006 13th Sabbath offering, funds for a new church were available, but church leaders weren't able to find anything suitable and affordable near the university. One evening, Mission Youth Chaplain Pastor Joe and other mission leaders met with Adventist student representatives on the university campus to choose a property. Although none of them were ideal, the group voted to purchase a steep block of land about 2 kilometers from the university. It was after 10 p.m. when everyone left. As a group of students walked along the street, a car stopped in front of them. A man jumped out, ran up to a fence surrounding a large house sitting on a prime piece of property, quickly posted a for sale sign, and left. "We should tell our chaplain about this." The next morning, Pastor Joe's phone rang. He listened as an eager student described the property and its prime location. Thanking the student, Pastor Joe phoned the number on the sign. Right after the call, Pastor Joe went to see the property. It was perfect. Located just 2 blocks from the university and directly across the street from the largest cinema and shopping mall in Fiji. The pastor couldn't imagine a more visible and accessible location. He immediately called the real estate company and told them he wanted to buy the property. Pastor Joe met the man who hung up the sign and introduced himself as an Adventist chaplain. He told the man about his group's need for a permanent place to worship. As the pastor spoke, he noticed tears beginning to stream down the man's face. "You know, as you were talking, I remembered the things I learned at the Suva Adventist Primary School. I remember the Bible stories and the singing. I'm going to call the owner of our company now." Before long, another man walked in, looked at Pastor Joe and exclaimed, "Oh, it's you! I know you! Some years ago, an Adventist girl I worked with invited me to come to church during a visitor's Sabbath. I came and you were the one speaking from the front." After some negotiating, Pastor Joe got the ideal property just 2 blocks from the university. The only problem now was that there was no church building on the property, just an old house. The group decided to build a new church building and replace the house. It took 8 months for the permits and permissions to start building, but the group finally got the approval. They chose an architectural plan featuring walls made of windows on either side of the new church. They used a lot of glass in the construction so that people coming out of the mall and cinema would see them worshiping. Today, more than 300 university students worship here. The church is within easy walking distance from campus and has become a gathering place for faith-building and outreach activities during the week as well as on Sabbaths. This transparent church truly shines as a bright light for all to see. Every weekend, people from all over the island come to sell food at Fiji's biggest market. Since they are traveling, they often have to sleep in the street with little food and water. They wait for the market to open so they can earn enough money to take back home. The youth group brings food to those who make the long trek into the city each weekend. People see them as a blessing and really appreciate all they do. The students have made friends with many of the traveling vendors. The youth are proud to serve the needs of others and to shine a bright light on the island of Fiji. Please pray for this group as they continue to be an influence on the community around them. Thank you for supporting the 2006 13th Sabbath offering.
We're in the Queens Spanish Church in Queens, New York, and my guest is Aurora. Aurora, thank you so much for joining us. And this is your home church, and you are the Community Services Director. Give me some sort of idea of the sort of activities that you are involved in with the community.
Thank you for having me. I'm very involved with the Compassion Ministry as well with I'm the Community Service Director of this church. We do compassion projects in this city, not only in Queens, and we serve the homeless in this community.
Wonderful. Now, do you involve children, or is it just for adults?
With the Compassion Ministry, we involve children, youth, and adults.
Okay. So what do the children do?
The children are highly involved in the planning. We ask them what they would like to do, and we assign them an area for them to work.
So you actually ask the children, what do you want to do? You don't tell them what to do?
No, I ask them what to do because this way they are more enthusiastic with what they like to do.
Yeah, so tell me some of the things that they've been doing.
In the month of September, on September 19th, we have a health fair in Corona.
Yes.
We have the use of the plaza, a huge place like a park, and the children were involved of distributing the book Be Healthy, and they were giving out apples, water, brand new chlorine, taking out the blood pressure, giving out the books. And every time a person came to their stations, for example, when they were giving out water, they told the people, you must drink 8 glasses of water. And in so-and-so chapter in the book talks about the benefits of water, you must read the book. And in the following station, they gave out apples. And they talk the benefits of eating fruits, like fiber, and they bring people to read the book. They actually encourage them, not only gave out the fruit, they also encourage them to read the book.
Wonderful. So the children in this church don't sit around just playing video games all day, they're involved.
Yes, they are highly involved. They enjoy cleaning out our local park, and not only giving out tracts, they're interacting with people and helping them to make healthy habits.
Wonderful. Now you're talking about Compassion Ministries. Why do you call your ministries Compassion Ministries?
Compassion Ministry is different than community service. In
Right.
Compassion Ministry, we minister the people's needs in
Yes.
their environment. It's the actual interaction with individuals. It's different than cleaning a park. We interact with the individual in the need we see they have. The needs that we don't see, we live for God to minister and guide us to minister those needs. For example, there is a highly unemployed rate during winter, so we go and serve the day laborers and homeless. And Compassion Ministry brings a lot of young Adventists. Many of them don't attend church, but they involved with helping others. And also, we have the largest volunteer with the New York City Marathon. That is Compassion, helping people in their needs.
The New York City Marathon.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
one of the 6 major world marathons,
Yes.
and we help there. We are the Adventist youth group.
Oh, you hand out water? What do you do?
Oh, we are medical volunteers.
Medical volunteers.
Yes.
Okay.
We have several young Seventh-day Adventist medical trained. So they are medical volunteers. We give out water, as you said. We translate and interpret. Many runners come from different countries to run the race. So we help them to interpret in their language.
Wonderful. Did you run the marathon yourself?
I have run half marathons and 20 miles,
Good.
not a full marathon yet, but my goal is run our Seventh-day Adventist marathon, the 7 bridges.
Oh.
We have a one in the United States.
Oh, very good. Now, how do you discover what the community needs? You know, you're involved in various ministries, but how do you find out what the needs are in the community?
We go to our local authorities,
Yes.
and they know their constituents, and they tell us the needs of their community. For example, the community where my church is located, this church, it's a highly populated community with families. A school is just right behind this church, so there's a lot of families with children in this community. And also, the local authorities told us that this community has a high asthma rates, so we have to teach them how to be healthier.
Wonderful. So that they can run the marathon too, right?
Yes, eventually.
So tell me, Aurora, what does it mean to you to be involved in you're not happy to just be sitting here in the pews. What does it mean to you to be involved personally?
To me personally, is to preach with our hands. What we do speaks louder than what we say.
Yes.
So to make the preaching of the gospel practical and involve others.
It sounds a little bit to me like Christ's method of ministry.
It is.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what it is. That's, as Ellen G. White says, that's the best method.
The only method.
The only method,
That's
yes.
right. So for any children who might be watching this program, what would you encourage them to do?
I encourage them to start doing compassion with their peers at school.
Okay, that's a good starting point.
Yes, with the elderly in their building, in their community.
Yeah, because elderly people love to have kids around, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Everybody accepts a hug, a good talk, a Bible promises. No one rejects children.
Yeah.
So children are our best assets in compassion.
I like that, our best assets in compassion. Aurora, thank you so much for sharing with us.
And thank you for sharing what we do in Corona, Queens.
Oh, it's a
with
pleasure.
compassion and community services.
Wonderful. And viewers at home, please find ways that not only can you be involved in compassionate ministry, but how to involve your young people and children to get them involved in service as well. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to New York City. Next up, we travel to another large city in a much warmer area, the city of Bangkok. Rick?
Thanks, Gary. Here with me is Tanya Wright. We're sitting here in beautiful Bangkok, Thailand, and it's nice to be with you here for a minute, Tanya. And just want to ask you, what are you doing here in Thailand?
My husband and I, we're working here at a school. I'm the principal of a school in Ubon, and it's a new school. They're just starting it, so we're excited to be a part of that.
Now, when you say Ubon, probably most of our listeners won't really know where that is. Can you describe it just a little bit?
It's in the northeast of Bangkok, about 8 hours. Of Thailand, about 8 hours from Bangkok.
So it's quite a drive.
It is.
Yeah. And how many students are at your school?
Right now we only have a preschool going. So we have 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds, but we're going to be building up from that all the way to 12th grade.
So that's a precious age. You're getting them when they're quite young.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
We just started, so.
Now you have come here to Thailand from a few other countries, not far from here, where you've been living. Can you tell us anything about what you were doing in previous places?
My husband and I, we actually worked at church planting, and also we were running an English language school where we were interacting with a lot of the local people, teaching them English.
Right.
So.
Wow. Is there any special story that kind of came out of your work in another place?
Yeah, actually, when my husband and I, just a year or so after we'd been in the country, we became aware of a young girl that someone was sponsoring to come to our school that needed a place to stay. She was trying to go to school there and also attend our English school and was running out of money for her rent. So my husband and I discussed it and decided that we'd like to offer her to stay with us. So we invited her to come stay with us. She was Hindu, and we understood that, the complications with that. So we were just excited, though, to be able to help out And the first week she was with us, she wanted to help with whatever she could around the house. She was so excited that we were helping her, and she wanted to show her appreciation. And I remember Friday night, the first Friday night she was with us, she was trying to do all these extra things. And my husband and I, how can we teach her about Sabbath and the specialness of that, you know? She doesn't understand it, and we don't want to force it on her, but she's like, oh, can I do your laundry? And we're like, oh, no, maybe not tonight. Maybe we'll do that, on Sunday. And she's trying to wash all the dishes, and we're like, we'll just leave them till tomorrow night, And so she didn't know what to do because she's used to working all the time. And finally, we're like, well, we have some nice religious videos. Maybe you'd like to pick one out. And so we went over to our collection of videos, and she saw the Gospel of John video that we had. And she said, oh, hey, can we watch this? So we put it in. And she starts watching it, and we realized she really hasn't ever heard the story of Jesus before, And so it was exciting to watch somebody who doesn't know really who Jesus is, watching him do all these wonderful things. And then we come down to the end where there's the crucifixion scene, and she sees that they're taking Jesus, and she gets so angry. She's like, why are they doing that? Don't they know he's a good man? What's happening? What are they going to do to him? What's going to happen? And then they kill him, and she just bursts into tears. She's so moved and so frustrated. She's like, why did they do that? And of course, we know what comes next. So we're like, well, just wait, be patient, And then there's the resurrection scene. And she was just so excited. She's up, she's jumping around the room. Jesus is alive, Jesus is alive. And it was just amazing to see, the story of Jesus that we've heard so many times, the first time that somebody really understands that and the impact that it had on her heart. It was just truly a blessing.
Very heartfelt response on her part to the exposure to the gospel.
Yes,
and what a beautiful capsule of what we all want to see in other people's lives. We'd love to see that connection with Jesus, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Let's bring it back to today a little bit. When you think about the Mission Challenge in Asia, in Thailand, what makes what gives you motivation for what you're doing right now?
What I'm doing? Just knowing that there's so many people that know so little about Jesus, like this young lady, or if they have, they don't really understand. They have a skewed version of what the gospel really is and who Jesus is. They might think, oh, he was a good man, but that's all they know. And when you're actually able to help somebody see who Jesus really is, and when you're there, when the Holy Spirit touches their heart, it's just an experience that you can't ever forget, and I'm just so thankful that God allows us to be a part of. Wow,
and to think of that with the millions of people we're surrounded with every day. Here in Bangkok, 12 million people on the average day. In the nation of Thailand, many more million. And if you think of the region of Asia with the large countries of China, India, even as far as Nepal and Pakistan and Indonesia, you think of the billions who have yet to hear the name of Jesus. And that's really what gives you the purpose for why you're here.
It does, yeah. So,
when you are working in your new school, what kind of things are you doing with the little ones?
Well, like I said, we just arrived. I haven't done too much yet, but we really, our goal there is to be able to share all kinds of hands-on things, and also to get their parents involved, to invite the parents to programs, to have the children involved in doing things so their parents can come and have a very natural way to connect with our church members and with us, something that they're interested in, something we're interested in.
So you get a connection with not only the little ones, but with the parents, the whole family's involved, and that way you can share the gospel with families, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In Ubon, what's it like? Is it more rural? Is it more traditional? Is it Buddhist? Is it what's the situation there?
From what I could see so far, it's a city. It's a big city. It's a growing city. The development, you can tell they've planned it for it to be able to expand quite a bit, the way the city's been developed.
Right.
And but it's a little more traditional, I think, than Bangkok for sure. And but I haven't been there very long, so we have much to learn
you're new
still.
There.
Yes.
And as missionaries, we're learners.
Yes.
We study, listen, and try to do our best. And I really appreciate you joining me for a few minutes here. I'm thrilled with what you're doing and how the Lord is blessing, and we'll be praying for your school.
Well, thank you.
just want to again say thank you, and thank you to our viewers around the world who are again sharing from their heart, their resources, their time, their prayers to make the mission of the church go forward. And I want to hand it back to Gary. Here's the show back to you, Gary.
Next up, another animated story from East Central Africa.
Mr. Victor lives in South Sudan, a country in East Africa. He grew up in a home where his father drank a lot of alcohol. Mr. Victor's father thought that nothing bad would happen to him, but one day he became very sick and could not recover. He passed away. When Mr. Victor grew up, he also drank alcohol and ignored his father's lesson, and he too became very sick. As he was sick and feeble, he heard a very clear voice saying to him that if he didn't stop drinking, he would die, just like his father. He immediately decided to quit drinking. Mr. Victor felt God was speaking to him to save his life, so he followed the advice and began to get better. After this, Mr. Victor and his wife began to learn more about the Bible through a Christian television station. They wanted to have children, and after reading the stories of Abraham and Sarah and Hannah, who prayed for a child and was given Samuel, they too prayed to God. About this time, the Victors met an Adventist member who asked them if they would like to study the Bible. They said yes, right away. Now they had someone they could ask questions and who would show them answers from the Bible. As they learned precious lessons, they decided to get baptized at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Juba. Before long, their prayers were answered, and soon a baby was born to the Victors. They named her Shama. Then 2 more babies came along, twin girls. After a while, another baby was born into the family, and they named her Faith. The Victors were so happy. Every evening before going to bed, the family had worship together. They enjoyed singing hymns, listening to Bible stories, and praying. After a while, Mrs. Victor was expecting yet another baby. But this time, something sad happened. When Mrs. Victor went to the hospital to give birth, there was a complication, and she passed away. The Victor family was very sad, but they kept their faith in Jesus. Now, more strongly than ever, they hope for his soon return. Shama's favorite Bible story is Jesus' resurrection on the 3rd day. Mr. Victor tells his children that one day Jesus will call their mother from the tomb, and if they are faithful, they will see her again. Every Sabbath, Shama, Faith, the twins, and many other children go to Sabbath school and church. They bring chairs to sit under the beautiful trees. Here they find a place in nature to connect with the Creator. Sometimes, however, the children cannot have Sabbath school because it is raining. The only place they have to meet is under the trees. When it rains, everything becomes very wet and muddy. The Victors' children continue to invite many young ones like them to church. They are praying that more children will be ready for heaven with them. But they are also praying for funds to build a lamb shelter. This building will be used for children's Sabbath school and church. Please pray as you support the many mission projects happening in Juba and all around the world.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed this special children's edition of the program. And it's wonderful to see children's lives being touched all around the world. And it's wonderful too to see children engaged in ministry. And we see tremendous challenges around the world, from areas in Thailand, remote areas in Africa, through to huge urban areas like right here in New York City. And we see that the holistic ministry of the Seventh-day Adventist Church is touching people's lives for eternity. And I want to thank you so much for what you do to make that happen. Your prayers make a big difference. Your financial support makes things happen. And your personal involvement also makes a wonderful, wonderful contribution. And before we go, I'd like to offer you a special gift. It's a money box. It's a special mission money box, and it's a terrific way to encourage your children to make giving to mission a priority, a habit in their lives. You can use it in your home, in schools, in Sabbath schools, wherever. Well, for Adventist Mission, I'm Gary Krause. I'm glad you were able to join me, and I hope that you can join me next time right here on Mission 360.